Alrighty, welcome back everybody. I wanted to do a quick recording of a panel that I was actually working on for a page today. This project here is for a project called Worlds in Peril. If you guys have seen my live streams and stuff, I talk about it all the time. It's a tabletop superhero RPG. So think Dungeons and Dragons mixed with superheroes. So it's really awesome stuff, especially if you're into that sort of thing. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this video was there's a couple reasons. And I've shrunk it down, so I got to try to be concise here so I can quickly talk about what's going on. But before I get into exactly what I'm doing, I just want to talk about why. I had already done the very rough pencils for this page. And if you guys had seen my Spectacular Red video that I posted a couple days ago, I found a new workflow that was really awesome, where I would draw the outline and then draw the details inside. Very similar to a silhouette version or type of drawing if you're familiar with concept art. And it's really cool, but I found out that after I did the page, I did it just like that, that it wasn't really that good. And there could be a lot of reasons for that. Most of it's probably I'm just inexperienced with that kind of workflow. And then I was just really frustrated because I didn't want to sit on that page and just kind of, deadlines are deadlines. We all get that. We all understand that. But sometimes the work, it's just not, it's too poor. So if you got to suffer for a little bit to make a better page, you got to do that. You got to at least have it be presentable. So I was just doing some research, looking around online, just trying to find new workflows, something that'll just spice it up, trying to find how can I narrow down a deadline into a workflow that can work best for me, as opposed to I don't really have the time to sit down and do an entire page in a day. I just can't. So I was looking through the Freddie E. Williams guide, the DC Comics Guide to Digitally Drawing Comics, and he talked about workflows, like breaking it up, doing thumbnails one day, roughs, like 2 or 3 pages of roughs and 2 or 3 pages of inks, or type pencils, inks, all that stuff. So that's what I'm trying right now. And right now, I'm doing pencils. Excuse me. And I was just flipping through some of my comics last night, and the artist on the current Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I believe his name is Santaluco. I apologize if I'm saying his name wrong. I was just looking for him. I'm really getting into his style. I really love a lot of the art that he's doing. It looks very energetic, and it's just really quality stuff. So I was just looking around online, and I saw a couple videos of his workflow, and it reminded me of something. It reminded me of how I used to work back when I was in animation, and you guys have seen it. If you actually go to my YouTube channel page, you can see my Thanos workflow. It's very similar to this. Essentially what you're doing is just using colored pencil to establish certain things. So blue is for characters, red is for detail, in this case using it for background work. But the big thing I wanted to point out here is one of the handicaps that I'm finding in Manga Studio, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm a huge proponent of it, and I want people to purchase Manga Studio, especially for the perspective rulers. However, what it's doing is it makes things feel very stale. And that could just be my current taste. So what I'm doing is I'm going almost right back to as if I was doing this on a real piece of Bristol, where you guys saw me struggling a little bit with the perspective on this panel. But then I get the perspective rulers in there, and I just grab a pen or whatever, and I just draw in my perspective as if I was doing it with pencil. And then I just turn the opacity down and draw over everything. Now what this is supposed to do is I'm not going to be using any kind of actual straight lines for my backgrounds. It's all as if it was hand-drawn. Some of the longer lines I will, just because of the jaggies and stuff like that. But we'll get there. We'll see how that goes. In this panel anyway, right now what I'm doing is just working on this character here on the left. I had to rework him a little bit. There's a great Capullo way that you can cheat for doing perspective, and you can use certain things. So what I had originally done was made his head really massive, and then I redrew it to be similar to the guy's head on the right. So if you have a line, if you see that line at the top of their hair, every character that's seen, no matter how close they are or how far they are, if the top of their head touches that, they'll always look like they're in correct perspective. So I tried that. Unfortunately, the problem was the guy in the background there with the spiky hair with the sunglasses, he doesn't follow that rule. So it immediately breaks this illusion, and it makes this character on the left look very small. So I adjusted that and redrew him. And as you can see, I'm just using kind of like an Andrew Loomis technique to keep drawing these characters. And ideally what I'll be doing from here is just lowering the opacity a bit and then grabbing a brush. I'm usually inking with a pen in Manga Studio because it gets really fine lines. However, I want to try a brush. And the brushes in Manga Studio, I don't know, they're a little iffy. Probably because I'm just not used to it. But I kind of like the effect, again, that I was seeing from Santaluco. Definitely check out his art. I'm not sure if you guys will really dig it. I think it's awesome. The energy is really great. And, you know, some people can argue that the faces are a little off and stuff, but it's all style, it's all fresh. But I'm going to wrap this video up, and we'll see how this process goes. I'll be keeping you guys up to date as the panels and the pages start piling up. And yeah, so take care, guys. Keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.